The Coaching Hour with Boitumelo
on Zoe Live Radio.
www.zoeliveradio.co.za.
Good evening. This is the Coaching Hour with Boitumelo. My name is Khensani Chauke. Tonight I'll be standing in for Coach Boitumelo for the couple of weeks to come. Tonight I'll be running the show in celebration of Women's Month. We will be celebrating different women in the show. Yeah, I'm so excited about this show and celebrating the Women's Month. And tonight is the last day of August. So we thank God that we came up to this far and we are still graced with life. And tonight we have a very phenomenal woman. Coach Hlonipho Mudisani will be joining us tonight. Good evening, Coach. Welcome to the Coaching Hour.
Good evening, Khensani. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you, Coach?
I'm good, thanks. Happy to be on the show.
Oh, I'm so excited, Coach, and thank you for coming in. It's one woman of many talents. She is a life coach and a business coach, HR professional speaker. They call her Boy Mommy. Oh, this boy is so fortunate and blessed to have this woman in her life. How are you doing, Coach? And how are you holding up in this time of celebrating women? And how is your boy doing?
I'm very well, thank you. August is my favorite month because it's a month where we celebrate women and the power that we are as women. It's also my birthday month, so there's a lot to celebrate in the month of August. My boy is very well. He's growing, very busy. We're at the stage, of 2, which comes with its own different dynamics, as they call it, the terrible twos. Very busy, very energetic, but doing very well. Thank you so much for asking.
Oh, wow, Coach, that's nice. And August is also my birthday, so I'm also falling under August. Yay! Power to the women of August and celebrating Women's Month. So, Coach, I just want to find out from you, before we go into the interview, I would like you to introduce yourself. Who is Coach Hlonipho?
Sure. So Hlonipho is a young woman, like any other woman born in South Africa. I was born in the Northwest in Mafikeng. I grew up in different parts of our country, in Kimberley, Mpumalanga, Rustenburg. The parents moved around a lot. But I'm very passionate about, our country, our people, about personal development and upliftment of our communities. And other than being a mom, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend to many, and I'm just somebody that really, really loves life.
Wow, that's so wonderful, Coach. And tell me, Coach, how do you find balance in all that you're doing? Especially tonight, we're talking about balance. In everything that you have mentioned now, how do you find balance?
Sure, finding balance. I think, as a young mom and as a woman, I think when we're talking balance in the times that we live in today, where we are working women, some people are business women, we are mothers, others are wives. There's so many different roles that we're playing in our lives, and it becomes very, very difficult sometimes to find balance, especially now with the pandemic and having to work from home and balancing, teaching kids, running the household and still doing your job. It's something that can be quite difficult. But for me personally, it's something that I've learned that being aware of it and becoming more conscious, it's about prioritizing the things that are important. And trying to also make sure that within everything that I need to be doing, I also need to make time for certain things that tend to fall off, that we don't consider as important, but that are very important. One of them being making time for me as Hlonepho, me as myself, outside of the different roles and the different people that I need to be to different people. Yeah. So I think it's just a matter of prioritizing and making it, a conscious decision to make time for different things.
Okay. So coach, as a HR professional, so how do you, especially now that, I was reading the news the other day, I've seen that a lot of women are not working. Up to, I think it's 43% of women are unemployed. So what do you think is the cause?
Look, I think within our country as a whole, we have, high rates of unemployment, regardless of whether we're females or we're men. Generically, there's just high unemployment rates. But I think a lot of it also has to do with our history and where we come from as a country, where we come from as people, where women used to take on the role of being a mom at home, raising a family, and education and being in the workplace wasn't a priority. So as times have changed, and things have shifted in the world, unfortunately, the advantages that the men have to fill that gap between where women were and where men were is something that is going to take a lot of, needs like real effort to bridge that gap.
Yeah, it is. I hear what you're saying. So going back into finding balance as working moms, coaches, management, leadership, how do we find balance with the situation that we're facing now in South Africa?
With regards to COVID itself?
Yes.
Or employment?
With COVID.
So look, I think it's a tough situation that we're in now. And, the thing that makes it tougher is that the pandemic was not a planned, situation. And it's not a situation that anybody could have seen coming. Mm-hmm. And therefore, we couldn't necessarily do any plans to prevent it or prepare for it because we weren't aware that we would be in the situation that we are in today. But I think with us being in it at the moment, there's a lot that as HR people, as business people, as companies, there's a lot that we now need to be looking at. And I'm sure that I think that is what is happening, to ensure that how do we then, deal with the situation that we're in and how do we make the most of it in terms of what opportunities it may bring. And with regards to the consequences such as job losses, what other interventions that we could look at as organizations to assist people and limit the number of job losses.
Yeah. You are a business coach, right? So what will you say to women who wants to start their own businesses in this time as a business coach?
So I'm always an advocate of people starting their own businesses if that is where their passion is. I do also believe that with the economy being so tough financially, one stream of income sometimes ends up not being enough. And it becomes necessary to have an alternative in terms of where do you get extra money? And if there's a business idea that somebody might have, I'm definitely an advocate for go for it, try, And I think within the COVID and the pandemic, it's brought a lot of opportunity for online businesses, for example. It's given a lot of people opportunity to access people that they might not have accessed if we were not in a pandemic, because people are working flexible, some are working from home. Therefore, there's opportunity to get in touch with certain people that before you would not have been able to, or you would not have been able to get an opportunity to interact with certain people. So there are some opportunities, but I think in starting a business in this environment, it's about being smart about it, identifying where we are and the changes that COVID is bringing, especially from a technological space, and looking at how one can leverage on that from a business side. Yeah, from a business side, or also from a product side.
Yeah, that's so true, because we can start new things at this time and look what is relevant for this time and try to improve and develop ourselves as women. So what I want to hear from you is, what does Women Month means to you overall? What does being a woman says to you?
So for me, it's a time to celebrate women. You know, I think women bring so much to the table. Women hold up our communities. Women hold up our families. Women birth life, you know, and not just in terms of pregnancy, but in terms of who we are as people. Yeah. You know, we are people as women. We are people that communities look up to. We are people that inspire so much change. We are people that really motivate and uplift. And I think, you know, for me, it's just a time to celebrate the essence of who we are as women. And that is why I love this month so much. But it's really a time where we focus on it, even though it's something that I feel we should be doing this throughout the whole year and not necessarily only on Women's Day.
I feel you on that one. It's so difficult. It was also difficult for me to adapt with working from home, because the kids will be in and out of school, and you're a mom, you need to cook, you need to, you know, they want everything from you. So this other day I was saying to them, I want to change the name Mommy. Can everybody call me Khensani? Because I feel like this mommy thing is carrying a lot of weight in me, and I can't do this anymore. It's not easy. It took me a year to adjust and adapt to the current situation, because I'm used to having my own time, working on my own pace, and planning on my own way. So now I felt that it was so too much for me to be a teacher, at the same time to be a nanny, at the same time to be a mom, at the same time to be a friend, and all that. It took me a year, to be honest with you. It took me a year to adjust and say, you know what, this is the reality of our world today, and I need to learn how to help my kids to be the best version of themselves. But however, I need to start being a version of myself first and develop a new mommy who will be able to handle all this changes that we have, because today they will go to school, tomorrow they don't. I need to leave whatever that I'm doing at the time and go back, and we're doing homework, we're doing teaching and all that. So I don't know how other mommies are doing it, but it was so too hard for me. And lately I've got it right. I have values have changed now, and I know that, okay, this is, if I try ABC and DEF, it's working, but sometimes it might work for everybody. But I'm telling you, it's a work in progress.
Lose connection again. You were.
I think so. I think I lost. I'm not sure whether it's the network or what happened, but I lost you somewhere there. Maybe it's the network. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So what I was saying is it really has been a challenging time for a lot of people. You know, we're dealing with something that we really don't know. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of losses of income, a lot of changes, a lot of people losing loved ones. And also having to balance different roles, such as work. Now it's kids and school, and, you know, and not everybody has the support system in terms of help in terms of looking after their children. So they need to still deliver at work, but at the same time, make sure that the kids are okay. And the kids are also, now working from, attending classes online. So it really is a tough situation, especially if you don't have support. And it has been tough for a lot of people to also adjust, because we're dealing with an unknown situation. We've never been in a situation like this before, and we learn as we go along. I personally believe in always trying to look at the bright side of things. I know it's not always easy, but if I take, for example, the opportunity that the pandemic and the lockdown has given me to be a present mom, spending more time at home. I was able to see my little one reach his milestones. I was able to be more present in the home front, because also when you're working, you're leaving early to beat traffic, you come back late. So it also, there is a little bit of opportunity that the current environment has given us. But what I've also seen is that we tend to work longer hours, and
tell me about it.
We really tend to work. A lot of people are working longer hours, and that's why I'm saying that, the topic of today is really important, because it is so important to find that balance. And to create that balance for every individual, to create that balance for themselves.
Yeah, that's so true. We have taken the advantage of saying, no, everybody's at home. Because the other thing that I also do, if during the day I wasn't able to achieve some of my daily goals, I'll wait for the kids to go to bed, and I will start working logging on and finishing off my work, knowing that tomorrow morning they're not going to school, or I'm home. I don't need to wake up very, very early in the morning. And somehow I also I appreciate that I'm able to see my kids. I'm able to communicate with them. I'm spending more time. We now doing almost everything together, because when you go to the bathroom, they'll sit at the door, and now they want to open a boardroom meeting and discuss things that are not supposed to be discussed at the time. They are everywhere you go. In the kitchen, they will come and speak to you about other things. And sometimes I'm like, no, these kids are invading my privacy. I can't breathe. But to tell the truth is, it's so wonderful to have your kids around and be able to know what's going on with them, and to see them grow, and to be present. Like you said, it's very, very important to be present parents in our children's life, and to see them grow and equip them accordingly as we can, and things that we know as moms and all that. So I do feel you and hear you regarding that, spending time with family, it's also important. Now you realize a lot of things that you missed while you were busy working. And remember, from my side, I was traveling a lot. Then I will see my kids maybe once in a week, coming back home on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's another flight I need to leave. So there's things that I missed at that time compared to now. This time I stayed with them whole year. Day and night, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
24 hours a day.
And it was 365 days. Like, we are looking at each other. So it was quite an experience to be there and see certain things that I didn't know of. Even though, as a mom, we will claim that we know certain things about our kids, but not everything until you spend more time with them. So I do understand what you're saying. And they grow up so fast. So to moms, to moms who are home, please enjoy those moments, because they're not gonna come back. They're not gonna come
Definitely.
back. Miss it, you miss it. Okay, Coach. Thank you. I do enjoy our conversation. And the other thing that I wanted to hear from you is, I came across a challenge with women who want to change careers. They will say, no, you know what? I've been a nurse for 10 years. Now I'm thinking that I want to do construction. Right, construction, as I want to be a bush. What do they call it? A bush cutter. Like they will wear this work suits and reflectors and safety boots and just want to switch in careers. And what is your take in that?
Look, I think there's two things to consider. One is, what is your passion? What are the things that you enjoy? What are the things that you're good at? But then there's also the realistic side of what do you then require to get into the construction space? From a qualification experience, those sort of requirements, and whether one has those. If you then don't, and you have the opportunity to, go study construction or whatever it is that you need to equip yourself to then be able to move into that career, then that's where you would need to start. And if you already have the minimum requirements, then I think it's a matter of trying to find ways of how do you get an entry point? What is it that you would need to do to get an opportunity in a different environment? And I think this brings me to something that I'm quite passionate about, in the sense that, sometimes when we're finishing school, we're not really equipped enough to make the right career choices. Yeah. And that's when you find a lot of people stuck in careers that they don't really like, or they're not good at, or they don't enjoy, but they've already invested so much time that they don't see a way out, or to make a change is going to require so much more than if the foundation, if at the beginning people had taken the time to really think about their interests, their passion, what they're good at, the subjects they were doing in relation to what it is they ultimately wanted to do. But I still believe that, you can do anything you set your mind to, and you can be anything you want to be, as long as you're willing to work hard. So if somebody wants to move from being a nurse after 10 years into the construction space, they can definitely do that if they've got the marks to do the qualifications, as a star, or whatever is required as a minimum to gain entry into that industry.
Yeah, and also finding the balance between the two, because let's say you are a mom. Your whole life you have planned with the hours that you work as a nurse, and now you are going to a freelancing place where you need to manage yourself, manage your time, manage contracts that will be coming in for you to work, and managing your home. Because I believe that working mom mostly they struggle with managing themselves. How do I manage myself as an individual? How do I manage my home? How do I manage my kids? How do I manage my work? So it's a lot of load. It's a load for every woman in a career space that, what, I want to, especially if you are self-employed. If you're self-employed, it's hard to plan and say, okay, from this time until this time, I'll be doing this. A call can come in anytime and say, hi, Khensani, you are needed in Durban. Then I need to pack and go. And what is going to happen to my kids? What is going to happen to my family as soon as I pack my bag and go? So it's challenging to manage yourself and manage your business. But what can we do as women? We are survivors, and we believe that if we can't do it ourselves, nobody can. So yeah, I hear you when I hear most of the women are saying,
And it's also understanding, being employed, there's that stability. You start at 8, for example, you stop at 5, or whatever the situation is. Whereas, the requirements of being an entrepreneur, it's more time, and if you're doing it alone also, do you have the support system in terms of your family life? Understanding the how it's going to impact on your entire life from a resource perspective, or even just from that support, on the family life, and making sure that, I think, before you take that step, you've kind of put measures in place to help you then with that transition from employment to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's so true. But we are grateful and thankful that there are some opportunities as women that we can tap into and grow ourselves from it and do better. So, what can you say to all the young ladies, women, young girls who are considering into tapping into business, into careers, into families, being moms and all that? What can they expect?
I think the most important thing is to really be self-aware. I think, if I had known this back then, this is where I probably would have started, is knowing who I am, know who you are, understand a lot about yourself, your personality, your interests, your abilities, what you're good at, what you're not good at, and the career or business that you want to start. Do your research on it. If you're planning to be a mom, also speak to people, because we tend to think being a mom is easy, but it does require a lot of self-awareness. It does take a lot from an emotional standpoint. It comes with financial responsibility. Are you ready for that? But when you're young, for me, it's about you. I would not advise young people to focus on being parents, but rather to focus on what it is that I want to be in life. What are my goals? What do I want to achieve? And just live life, to do things that interest them. If you want to travel. If you want to explore the world, explore yourself before committing to things like being a mother. Live your youth, because you're not going to have it again. Those things, being a mom and relationships, those things will come later. But if you're young, in your teens, your 20s, you're still young, and I think it's important at that stage to get to know yourself and discover yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Identifying your purpose in life, it helps. Even myself, there was a time where I told myself that I wish I knew when I was younger what was my purpose, what was I born to do, and I think I will done things differently in my career and in my family life and so forth. And another thing that I've noticed, if you can have a look and check, if you check from March last year until now, we've been experiencing a lot of women abuse. What is your take in that?
Sure. Gender-based violence is, a very sad topic, a very hard one, because no matter what the issues, no matter what, nothing gives justification or anybody a right to abuse anybody else. It's very sad how the numbers of these cases have escalated within our country. And I think it's really a time that it needs to stop. And we all need to be doing better in terms of changing this narrative and the story. We need to be educating men, young boys, and teaching them from a very young age that this is unacceptable, and it should not even be something that we accept on any level. And we also need to be empowering young women, young girls, and women in general, that this is also something that they should not be accepting, because sometimes a lot of these cases start off as something that is considered small, and then it escalates. So we need to not be accepting things that really are abusive on any level.
Yeah.
On any level.
That is so true. That is so true. And looking at it as it's very painful to see how women are being killed, how mothers are being killed, who's going to take care of their children, how mothers losing their children. And it's just a lot to take. We are facing this COVID-19. We're facing unemployment. At the same time, we're also facing more and more of women abuse, and it's not something that we can take it lightly as a community. We just need to find a way where we can resolve this whole issue that is coming up. And another thing that I've noticed, I also saw the high rate of teenage pregnancy. Kids from 10 to 14 years are pregnant, and it's just too much, because I also have a teen myself. So sometimes when I read and see those kind of news, I step into the feet and like I look at myself and wear the shoes of the mothers who are facing that situation, and asking myself, if it was me, what will I do with the situation? And from looking deep into my heart, it's not something that is easy. It's not something you can just delete. It's not something that you can just say, no, I don't care. There's no way you can say you don't care. It's a reality, and it has happened. But we are hoping that as we grow and empower other women, because it's more of women empowerment. The other thing is that on the other side, sorry about that. Okay, I wanted to say, if you can look into the communities and societies in the world, most of the time we empower more women on how to behave, on how to carry themselves, on how to live their life better, on how to develop themselves. And on the other side, you get that most of the young men, they don't have like father figures. They don't have a lot of mentors. They don't have a lot of men empowerment compared to how women are uplifting and equipping other women on the other side. So it goes both ways, that, you know what, as males and females, we need to come together and say, you know what, let's raise a better and a world mentored generation. Because if you look into it, this is the generation will be running the country in the years to come. And what do we have? What are we implementing to them? What is it that we empowering them with?
Yeah, no, look, it is an empowerment issue. And I think, it's you're right. It's not just about focusing on the girls or the women. We also need to be focusing a lot on the men and the boys. At 10 years old, what do you know? And I think it really is about educating our young girls and our young boys, but educating and empowering them with knowledge and awareness, so that they're able to make better choices. It's about also building confidence, in our girls, to be able to say no, and to be able to assert themselves. A lot of times in our cultures, we don't teach women to assert themselves, and stand their ground. Women have to be submissive and humble, but we don't teach them assertiveness. And these are tools that sometimes in some difficult situations would serve them better. But I think it definitely is equipping them with knowledge and tools, skills around these issues, and having the open conversations,
it's
about
important.
sexual behavior and the right conversations for the right level, for the right age groups.
Yeah, indeed, coach. We really need to find balance around these things and make sure that our children are informative with everything that is happening in our world, and sexual spirituality, because sometimes we focus on other things that are out, but we forget to build our spiritual lives of our children. And there are kids who at this time they don't know how to pray a simple prayer as Our Father in Heaven. We just need to find balance to make sure that we raise a better generation, a generation that will lead us in the future, the generation that have good standards. And it all starts with us as parents. How are we doing it as parents? What example are we setting for our children, and all that? So we're still with the coaching hour with Boitumelo Hlolakai. My name is Khensani with Coach Hlonipho. So Coach Hlonipho, as we proceeding with our conversation, where can the viewers find you?
I am on social platforms, mainly Instagram. My handle is Hlonipho_complete360 coach. And then on Facebook as well, Complete 360 Coaching is where the viewers can find me.
Okay. So coach, do you also do one-on-one, or you only focus with corporate?
Yes, so my coaching focuses a lot on the corporate side, where I do corporate coaching for different organizations. I also do coaching for personal development for people that are within the corporate space, and that is basically the focus of my coaching. Yeah.
Yo, coach, you sound so busy. I wonder, how do you find your own balance in everything? How do you find
planning and prioritizing?
Planning and prioritizing. So you deal with PP, planning and prioritizing.
Yes.
Yeah, I've taken a note. Because the most important thing as mothers, I know one thing for sure, that most women and mothers are good planners. They know how to plan. They know how to plan their day, how to plan their children, how to plan everything they do.
That's how they keep things running. Otherwise, things will fall apart.
Indeed. So if you're struggling with planning, if you're struggling with PP, planning and prioritizing, please get in touch with Coach Hlonipho. She will be able to help you on how to plan and prioritize, because she's doing very, very well. I'm one of those coaches who looks up to her in almost every day, in how she does it, when she does it, where she does it. And you know what, and most of the time she empowers me a lot, that it doesn't matter whether you're a mom, whether you're a woman, don't look back where you come from. Keep moving forward, achieve all the goals that you want to achieve in life, and make sure that you become the best version of yourself. So, Coach,
thank you so much, Khensani.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. Ever since I met you, I've been like, I need to step up, because I can see that God is connecting me with phenomenal women who are out and about, and who are out to help others, who are out to encourage and build other women. And it's everything that each and every woman doesn't want. each and every woman want to be a better woman. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. What we don't want is to stuck in one place and feeling sorry for ourselves and complaining and, and blaming others for not growing. Currently, social media has given us a platform. You grow if you want to grow. You look for information if you want to look for information. We even have Zoe Live Radio. They have a coaching hour every Tuesday night. It's up to you to reach out and say, you know what, I don't want to live this life anymore. What I need to do is to empower myself and to develop myself in certain areas where I want to grow.
Yeah, no, we definitely have the power to choose. I'm a firm believer in that. And we also have the power to change our situations if we don't like it. It all starts and ends with us. Nobody's going to come and dictate your life for you. It is your life, and you have the choice in how you want to design and how you want to live that life. It's all up to you.
It's so true. So, Coach Hlonipho, what inspires you? What keeps you on track each and every day?
Khensani, I'm inspired by a lot of things. So I also have women that I look up to. My first inspirational people were my mom and my grandmother and my aunts. I grew up looking at very strong women that lived, the best lives in terms of whatever their situation was. They showed up, they made moves to change things that they didn't like. They empowered me to go after things that I want, to believe in myself. And within the walks of life, I've met so many amazing, beautiful women that I've learned from. That are my inspiration, and what gets me going every day is just life, the beauty of life, and knowing that my own life, my own hands, and I have the power to choose how I want my life to be, regardless of where I come from and my so that is really what drives me on a daily basis.
That's so
and wanting to make the world a better place for the next generation of us.
That is true. As women, we need to, it's all about empowerment. It's all about equipping others, sharing the knowledge that you have, sharing the information that you have, and it helps others and having the testimonies, because most of the time as women, my testimony can save another woman, because some, they don't see the light. They don't see the light, but if they see you, as soon as they see you and you telling them the tale of, no guys, I've been through the same issue and here I am. So it's you are becoming a lifesaver to another person. So Coach,
and definitely, sorry Khensani, just one more thing with that, especially now with social media, you see the beautiful side of things, but you don't know the journey. So with the testimony, I think it's also important so people can understand the journey, so that somebody that might be in a situation where they feel hopeless, can know that I will not be here forever. There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
That's so true. That's so true. And another thing that I wanted to find out from you is, what legacy do you want to leave?
What would I want to leave?
Yes, the legacy.
I think the legacy that I would want to leave is one where I've made a difference and I've impacted on lives, and that can then continue, for many, many generations and many, many, many more years. But it's a legacy of change, mostly positive change. Especially being a Black young woman, understanding what that means in today's world, what that means in this country, what that means in South African organizations. It's changing the narrative for those that will be coming after me.
Yeah, that's so true, Coach. And you have already started with transformations. Are you part of any foundation at the moment?
So I work with an NPO called Releasing Eagles, which is a non-profit organization that focuses on the development of young girls, empowering them with, different skills, life skills, financial skills, and also helping them from an education perspective in trying to get opportunities for study or opportunities for learnerships, etc. And then there's another hospice close to my heart called the Leratong Hospice, which is in Attridgeville in Pretoria. And this hospice is a palliative care hospice. Okay. They look after patients that are terminally ill, and they really do such an amazing job, and these are the sort of organizations and people that I interact with that also really, really inspire me to live from a perspective of service.
Yeah, that's so true. We need to be part of organizations that are busy transforming lives and societies. And as coaches, we need to be out there because we have this negative, I call it negative because it's a negative thought that you cannot do anything if you're not paid. So we need to be present on things that we are giving out for free. We are giving out ourselves. We're giving out the knowledge that we have to others and helping out the community to grow and just to be present and to serve others because we were born to serve. Serving starts from home, yes, but what are you serving in your church? Are you serving at church? Are you serving in your community? Are you serving at work? Or it's all about you need to book me and I'll schedule a session for you. So as coaches, we are there to help. We are there to give ourselves, and we are there to serve those who need serving. I'm so happy, Coach, to hear all the things that you're doing, and I've taken a lot of notes tonight, and I'm so glad that you did answer our call when we said, Coach Hlonipo, can we be with us? Can you close a Women's Month for us? Can you help us find balance in everything that we do? Because I believe that at the moment we are everywhere. We don't know what to do. We lost employment. We working with kids from home. We are just all over. Some women got divorced. They don't know how to balance between the divorce. They don't know how to balance between work and kids and everything that is happening around them and in the same environment because everything is happening at home now. So you are in one space, you're suffocating, you don't know where to go because today it's locked down. Next week it's open for you to go out, you come back again and all that. So sometimes can be very, very, very hard for you as a person to just have a breath. So Coach, I thank you so much for coming to the show, for helping us to find balance. What can you leave women with tonight before you leave?
I think the most important thing also in finding balance is to know that, you're not alone. And I think sometimes as women, we tend to think we are alone and we suffer in silence. Speak to somebody, share so that somebody can know that you are overloaded and you never know where that help will come from. But I think the one very important thing I want to leave women with is that within the different roles that you're playing, be it mom, wife, career, business, don't forget to make time for you, you as an individual, to fill your cup, to replenish yourself, because you cannot serve others when you are tired. You can't pour from an empty cup. So it's just as important to prioritize yourself.
Indeed, Coach, indeed. I hear you that, I hear you when you're saying you can't pour from an empty cup. I nearly did that. I nearly did that at some time, but because I'm surrounded by very powerful women, very powerful coach. I remember I once called Coach Boitumelo. Oh, she was the one who was checking up on me. Khensani, how are you doing? Right there and there, I said, Coach, I'm not doing very well. Like, because I knew that I'm not doing very well. Then I wasn't in any space of helping any other person, but to help myself. So I know exactly what you're talking about. It's okay to step down and say, you know what, this is time for me. Let me refill myself. Let me grow myself. Let me help myself to get up, especially if you have support around you. Be honest with people around you that, guys, I'm not coping at all. I really need help. And with women around us, we are what we are today because they are there anytime we need them. And this is the coaching hour with Boitumelo Hlolakai. My name is Khensani Chauke, and Coach Hlonipho Modisane, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We really had a great conversation, and I believe also the listeners have had everything that you have said, and they are empowered, and yeah, they are ready to find the balance in their lives. They are ready to use the PP, prioritize and plan, guys. Don't forget to do that. And from me, Khensani, good night to all the viewers. Good night to Coach Hlonipho, and God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and we thank you. And what I can say to everyone is that be the change you want to see in the world. And remember that the coaching hour is the coaching hour with Boitumelo Hlolakai that transforms and empower communities. So thank you, guys, and thank you everyone for listening and tuning in tonight. Goodbye.